Well, we woke up to a cold one this morning, folks. It's minus 30 out today, and the only saving grace is the glorious sun. Oh, hi. Yes, hello. No, you should get down. It's a gorgeous sunny day out. It's a little windy from the north, but we're pretty sheltered up in here. So I think Miss Caramel and I are going to go for a snowshoe hike today and take the old Hurons out. Right? Oh, yes. Oh. Okay. Should we do it? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So one of the first videos we ever did was a tour of the trail down to this pond, the Beaver Pond, and I promised to bring you back when it was winter to show you the breathe hole on top of the Beaver Pond, where you can see their breath coming out and there's warm air coming out the top of the lodge. So let's go have a look and see if we can find that that breathe hole on top of the lodge. Yeah, there it is, right here. Let's have a look. So hopefully you can see that. You can see the crystals forming around the edge where the breath has come out, where the warm air comes out. And so down inside of there is the hole down into their lodge. And that'll sustain some fresh air down there and whatever. So when it comes to snowshoeing, I am a bit of a traditionalist in terms of what I like. I do really prefer the traditional style snowshoe over a modern synthetic, aluminum shoe. The aluminum ones are a little bit lighter, the harness system tends to be a little more advanced and hold your foot from going sideways a little bit more. But I do find that the traditional shoes keep you a much better flotation. These are a 14 by 42 Huron style. And what I really like about the Huron style is they've got enough width to give you good flotation. Like right now we've got some pretty deep snow, and these are sinking in maybe, I don't know, maybe 8 inches, 10 inches. But walking around yesterday just with boots, I was noticing it's coming up well past my knee. So I mean, and up to my waist in some places. So we're definitely getting better flotation than just walking around without them. The other thing I like about the Huron style shoe is that it has this sort of teardrop shape to it. And that little tail down at the bottom does a couple of things. One, it tends to track the snowshoe a little bit and keep things going straight as it drags through the snow as you kind of move with it. The other thing it does is it's a bit of a counterweight, so that when you lift your foot up, you'll see that back part wants to drop down, and that's what you want, because you want the nose of your snowshoe to go up as you move forward, and as you sort of drop down, you want that back end to drop down, so it gives a little bit of weight and drops down. Something like a bear paw style snowshoe, which is more of an oval shape, tend to work a little flatter. They don't tend to drop in the back quite as much, and so I find with a bear paw style, I'm always tripping over myself. The other thing about the Huron style is that it's perfect for my stride. I'm 6 feet tall, and I find that the stride is just about perfect, where the one will nest in the other one as I sort of move forward. You following me? Good idea, otherwise it's too deep, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Too deep. Follow me. Hey. And so as I walk, they nest inside of each other. I don't know if you can see that, but they nest inside each other. And so you're not walking all bow-legged like you would be with the bear paw style shoes or with a wider shoe. So I find these ones really comfortable to walk in. I don't have to go bow-legged, and they tend to sort of, like I say, stay fairly close together for me, and I really like that. These are a Snow Trek brand. I don't know. They're very similar to the Faber style ones. These ones have a canvas and webbing, nylon webbing harness for your boot. Binding, I guess, which, it works okay. They do tend to loosen up a little bit on the back, but just a quick cinch and then you're back in, and that seems to work pretty well. So yeah, the Huron style is definitely my favorite style of snowshoe, especially for out here where the powder is so deep. Oh. Well, that sun is glorious. Glorious. Hi. Oh, yes. snowy face. Huh? Ah. Nice sun. Look at that. Make some lunch. Let's go make some lunch. I'm hungry. Oh, come on. Come on. Well, from venison tenderloins to Spam infused with bacon. Our dinner choices are a little different today. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, it'll be good though. We do have some sourdough buns. Boom. And we have a nice medium cheddar cheese. So those will be fine with it. Won't they? Miss Caramel. Yes, they will. Sit. Is it pretty? Oh, nice. Very nice. So one thing about traditional snowshoes, as opposed to the modern kind, is that they do take a little bit of maintenance, just to make sure that they last a long while and give you the life that you need. So the rawhide that they use for stringing them does tend to dry out, and the wood can dry out, but it doesn't take much. It's just a standard sort of marine varnish. I use like a Spar varnish, Spar marine varnish, clear, and you just sort of give them a little paint every once in a while with that varnish, and in any spots where they look like it's especially dry or worn. These ones are in pretty good shape actually, but there's a couple of spots that sort of get worn more than any others, and that's obviously where your foot, where your toe goes in here and pivots on that point. That's always worn and tends to get dry pretty quickly. Where your foot sits where your heel comes down on the rawhide can also get pretty worn pretty quickly. And then sometimes on the bottom, the rawhide that wraps around on the bottom can also get damaged just from you know, rubbing up against trees or rocks or whatever underneath the snow as you're moving along. So I'm just going to give those a quick little touch-up varnish on all those little spots today, and that'll be about it. The wood looks pretty good, so I'm not going to worry about the wood anywhere. But if you do have some fairly worn spots on the wood of your snowshoes, it's not a bad idea just to take some you know, rough sandpaper and just sand those spots a little bit, just so that if there's any flaky bits or any sort of dry pieces of old varnish that are sort of chipping off or flaking off, that you get those off before you put the new varnish on. So I'm just going to give these a quick little touch up on the rawhide, and then I think they'll be good to go again. You can apply this fairly liberally. There's lots of little nooks and crannies for the varnish to sort of drizzle down into. So I tend to, you know, apply a fairly liberal coat, and that's why I've got a little cloth underneath me to catch some of the drips and that sort of thing. But yeah, you know, it doesn't hurt to put a good amount on.